And something else that we'll also notice with participatory music experiences is that high pitches, just higher notes, are often valued in sounds. And part of this is just because they're easier to hear and they're a lot less messier than lower frequency sounds. Think about how boomy a bunch of bass drum sounds versus how much a flute sound or a snare drum ta 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 cuts through in the air. And then this is another important value that we'll hear: timbre and dynamics, right? So the sound quality and then the volume level dynamics, right? We could have soft dynamics, loud dynamics. They usually stay consistent because, again, you have so many different people playing together. It's hard to communicate. Okay, start playing softer, everybody. Start playing louder. In other musical experiences that rely more on sheet music and rehearsal, it's much easier to say to people, okay, when we get to this section of music, we're going to play it really loud. And when we get to this section, we'll play it really soft. But in participatory music making experiences, again, the goal is participation. So you may be playing with people that you've never played with before, that might have jumped into the performance right in the middle of it. So it's hard to communicate that we're going to change our sound quality in the middle of the performance, or we're going to change the dynamics. Generally, these things just happen gradually and naturally as a part of participatory music making, not planned. So these elements usually stay pretty consistent. It's, think of a drum circle. It usually just kind of stays at one volume level, right? So let's take a listen to some of these various sound features we just talked about. All right, so we're going to listen to another siku and drum ensemble by the Ayu people in the Konima district. This one's called Edith, and it's a short composition here. And when you see this that says form here, A, A, B, B, C, C, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about cyclical short sectional forms. A represents one section of music, which gets repeated again. B represents another section, which gets repeated again, and same with C. And these sections of music go by quickly. They're repetitive, like we talked about before. So try and listen to some of the different sections and how they repeat, and then keep moving along in this performance. All right, so hopefully you heard that the dynamic stayed very consistent. It was all performed at one volume level. Pretty dense texture with those big thumping drums, and then just having the sikus playing the entire time. It just filled up the sonic space so much. And then you probably heard the times where the drums didn't quite hit together, right? Which is an example of wide synchronization, wide rhythmic synchronization. Sometimes you hear blump, blump, right? Which represents some of these more participatory musical experiences. Some people would perhaps describe this sound as more amateurish versus a professional tight sound, but it really is just the sound of participation and wide participation.